Hey guys, and welcome back to another Simply Dark episode. Today we are going to be talking about an African lake that turns animals into stone. And I know that this sounds incredibly crazy and out of this world, because it does, but it is completely true. And if you guys want to know how is this possible, please just keep on watching. Lake Natron in Tanzania is one of the most serene lakes in Africa, but is also the source of some of the most creepiest and terrifying photographs ever taken. Images that look as though living animals had instantly turned to stone. Lake Natron is extremely alkaline due to high amounts of the chemical natron that flows into the lake from the surrounding hills. Natron is a mixture of baking soda and sodium carbonate, which was actually once used by the Egyptians in the process of mummification and acts as a brilliant type of preservative for those animals unlucky enough to die in these lakes' waters. The water's pH has been measured as high as 10.5, and this is nearly as high as ammonia, which can burn the skin and the eyes of the animals that are not adapted to it. And on top of this, Lake Natron's water can reach a whopping temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. The conditions of this lake are so terrible that the animals that die there have completely calcified into statuesque mummies. Now, no one knows how the animals die, but photographer Nick Brandt, when on an exhibition to the lake, came up with a pretty good theory. He says that frequently migrating birds crash into the lake's surface. And here comes the theory. He says that the highly reflective, chemical-dense waters act like a glass door, fooling the birds into thinking they are flying through empty space. And apparently, this doesn't happen only to the birds. It actually happened to a pilot that tragically fell victim of the same illusion. During dry season, Nick discovered that when the water recedes, the birds' desiccated and chemically preserved carcasses wash up along the coastline. When I saw those creatures for the first time alongside the lake, I was completely blown away. The idea for me instantly was to take portraits of them as if they were alive. So for the series of photos called The Calcified, featured in the 2013 issue of NewScientist and also featured on Nick's own book, he decided to pose the carcasses in lifelike positions. But the bodies themselves are exactly the way the birds were found, he insists. All I did was position them on the branches, feeding them through their stiff talons. Nick Brandt did an incredible job, capturing the ghost-like feeling of the animals into those pictures. I would definitely recommend you guys to buy his book because it's so interesting, and I'm not affiliated with him in any way. This is not sponsored or anything like that. I'm not being paid to talk about his book, but I would definitely recommend you to check it out because I feel that it is so good. His book was actually what made me so interested about this story, and it was what made me want to do this video. And what I will do is I will just leave all the information about Nick and his book in the description box below, so if you guys are interested, just go there and check it out. Now, as you guys can imagine, the waters of this lake are some of the deadliest waters in Tanzania, and few creatures live on them. They are home to just one species of fish, which is called Alcolapia latilabris. They are also home to some kind of algae, and one thing that I thought it was super interesting is that this lake is also home to a colony of flamingos that normally feeds on the algae and breeds on the shore. And I thought that this was such an interesting thing to say at the end of this video, just because, you know, the pictures are so terrifying, and the idea of this lake killing everything that, you know, comes in contact with it, it's so terrifying to me that finding a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, it's so satisfying to me. So although the Lake Natron has so much death surrounding it, there is still life in it, and the flamingos have a great time in there. I think that probably these flamingos are different from normal ones. They probably adapted to these conditions, and I just think that the power of life is so amazing. Like, the way that life is able to adapt to the most difficult situations, it's so inspiring. And this just shows me that, you know, no matter what, no matter how dark a situation is, there is always a way out. So yeah, that's all I have for today's video. Please let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. Leave all your comments in the section down below. I will for sure read and reply to them. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If yes, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my videos get out there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye!